on the screen there.
So we've definitely got video.
So if we have video, and we assume we have audio. So we assume this is live. We assume people can see us. We assume people can hear us. I suppose I could
create a feedback loop.
Create a feedback loop by turning my sound on. Now. Ready? And go. Right. So now it's live. Okay. There's a black screen. Ooh. Yes. Yes.
Okay, we're live and we have sound.
Yes, we seem to be live. Alright, let's take my volume down, otherwise there will be a feedback loop. Right, okay, right. And sorry about these technical difficulties. We changed a few things around and of course everything collapsed like a couple of minutes before we were due to start. So as these things happen, of course. So now we should be set. Now you should be hearing me. Otherwise this will be a lot of watching in waiting. Let's go through the newsletter like we do in every news live stream. Okay, so what's the big news this week? This week the big news is that the Mockingjay, the Hunger Games Mockingjay game, don't know if you can see it, is on its way. Is now on a ship and is sailing towards us. So what could possibly go wrong, right? But you know, if everything goes well and you know the ship takes the right time and customs take the right time and all of that, the ship to the UK, the ship to the US, if everything going well, we should be able to deliver this in August. So you know, spend July on the ship, arrive in August, a couple of weeks between custom, devanning the ship and everything. August should be when this starts to go out, and to the backers first, to the backers of the Kickstarter, and then to the rest of the stores and people that pre-ordered. So all things going well. We should be like 2 months earlier than we expected on the Kickstarter, which is a first for us, but in general it's a rare occurrence. So you know, we're learning and getting better at it. So cool. And we have a few pictures of big boxes, and if you zoom in you can see it's actually the Hunger Games game. Is not just a picture of random people in China loading stuff on trucks. Please have a look. So this is the first news. Then I'll look at the next news. Okay, the next news is an interview with Sam Putz, which is a on tabletop member and is a staff member and is written one of the stories in our Labyrinth, the adventure game. So I'm going to show you something very cool about Labyrinth, the adventure game, in a short while. But the interview is about Sam and how cool he found the idea of writing for Labyrinth, for that IP that he loved, and his story. So go there and have a look at what Sam has to say about that experience. Following that, we have the first reveal of the major suit of the major arcana of the strongest cards in the Labyrinth card game. And if you want to, basically, we have this gallery in Facebook where we will publish a little bit at a time, weekly, some of the cards, so you can slowly build up and see the whole deck, all the cards in the deck, or the most important cards in the deck, before the release that we do in a few months. So have a look and see what you like if you like the artwork, and let us know. Okay, the next thing in the newsletter is the creature feature. So Tales of Equestria, our role-play game for families and geeks, where basically we have 2 creatures this time. We are putting up the stats for the Winterchilla and the Winterzilla. If you've seen Series 8, you'll see that basically it's a interesting creature that with a double life, from cute during the day to monster in the night, and you know, all potential fun that can come with it. And it starts to include it in your games of Tales of Equestria. Quite an appropriate thing, I would say. You know, create situations for your characters. And of course, don't forget that if you send creatures in for the creature feature, we're gonna feature the best ones and make our own versions of the game, put them in the game, so you can win prizes. Some entries have already been sent to approval to Hasbro. We've already made adaptations, and there will be some more. We received just this week we received some very cute entries. I mean, some kids have made up some characters, some creatures, which are hilarious, very cute, very funny. So it's a delight really to see these entries. So bring them, keep sending them. And of course, then there's the comic, the comic strip from Caesar that basically is themed today to the shipping of the Hunger Games Kickstarter. And I think these comics just get funnier and funnier, and we now put them all in a gallery as well, so you can actually look through the history of Reverse in the last year or so, and all the things that happened, and all the fun portrayal of all of those things that we tend to do. We try to do once a week. I really look forward, actually, myself, to see what is going to be the next one next month. Sorry, next week. So if you want to see it first, register for the newsletter. And this one is Release the Kraken. If you've seen Clash of Titans, you know what I'm talking about. Next, there's the Our Games, Your Content. So people who have made reviews, videos, articles about our games. In this case, we feature one from Marco Wargamer, who is reviewing the Terminator Rise of the Resistance game. So it's actually quite a detailed review with a lot of information in it, and it's a video, and it's quite interesting, and we'll show you what the game looks like and feels like, and go there and let Marco know what you think. Thank you, Marco, for making the video, by the way. Finally, the last section of the newsletter is about our pre-orders. So we announce obviously this new stream, and then the pre-order products, which range from Tales of Equestria to Labyrinth, Hunger Games to Pacific Rim. So there's quite a lot of stuff there. Okay, without much further ado, I'll remove my computer from the table, because I'm gonna need the table, and I'm gonna show you off a few things. So what I thought, there's one very exciting thing that I want to show you, but also some other interesting things which, particularly if you're interested in the process of making a game or bringing a game to market, this could be an interesting thing to see. So you see, when you're making a product, you design it, you have a digital version, and then you have to interact with suppliers that will manufacture it, and they send you samples during the process at different stages during the process. And based on the samples, then you give them feedback, and you want some things changed, some things are perfect, some things need a little bit tweaking. So it's an ongoing process of samples, improvement, other samples, more advanced samples, improvement, until you're happy with it and the thing can go to mass production. So I have here two things to show you. The first one, let's go in order of, this is very exciting. It's this. So I'll hold it to the main camera first, if you can see. If you like the Labyrinth like I like the Labyrinth, I have a book here, and I'll put it to the close count now. And there you go. This is a prototype of the Labyrinth adventure game. And it's not 100% there. It's one of the advanced samples. I mean, there were much more primitive ones before, but this is starting to look right. This is starting to look the part. Is getting there. Not 100% there yet, but I think you'll agree this looks, this starts to look very nice. I mean, the texture is a fabric texture. The embossing of the thing will end up looking exactly like the one that Sarah holds in the film. And surprise, surprise! Now, I've put it the right distance there, centered. What I'll try to do is to open it. You have the ribbons there, which will be different colors, by the way. In the actual production value, these three will be, one is red, one is gold, one is black. But let's not. So again, I'll try to keep the right distance with the camera. This is not the right printing, as it is not the right thing, but what you can start to see, there's some test printing we've done on it. What you can start to see, we are trying different colors, we're trying sketches, using some of the actual game, of the actual thing. Like there's a character sheet there, you can see. But what I wanted to show, over here, of course, is what's in here. There's some dice, which obviously these are not the actual dice. The actual dice are red with white pips and with the 1 replaced by an owl. Number 1 replaced with an owl. But I mean, and then you have this book which has kind of its own little oubliette. There's this hole, which holds the dice, and when you look in it, it does give you the impression of a hole, of a pit, of a in fact of the thing that leads to the oubliette in the movie, which, you know, with the proper artwork, etc., you'll see what it looks like when we finish with it. And the idea is little goblins could come out of that hole and make the whole game quite different. Make your book quite different from your average book. In a way, has its own magical characteristics. So this is 90% there. We are still working on details. Of course, I will make sure that it's not all white like you see here, but what looks more like, once again, allow me to show that section. I cannot now see what's happening because of a lag, so I can't quite see what I am showing. Now I'm back. I am back. So yes, this is a taste of a teaser of what the actual book will look like. Anyway, enough. Basically, if you're like me, I think you won't be, you wouldn't. You can't wait for this to actually be here, finished and ready in my hands. But now, another thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys. I'll put the dice away into the book. Boop. Okay. This is a advanced sample. Before that, in different board games, etc., there are more, obviously, not quite as advanced samples. One thing that I want to show you here is a box. This is a box for the Ogres Oubliettes supplement for Tales of Equestria. So when the expansion will be done, it will look something like this. It will look like one of our, say, the starter set, or like the starter set, this kind of box. Yeah, its components, books, paper, punch boards. Yeah, so finished product, something like that. What you get, of course, when you design something that is similar, is what we call a white box. The white box is the components that are in the final product that have no printing on them. This is literally so you can try the feel of it, the texture, the weight, the components, the number of the components, and look at them without the actual printing. Separately from the white box, you get a big roll of e-proofs, print proofs, or hard proofs. But basically, this is, you will see in a second when I'll open it, is actually the stuff that will get printed and printed onto the components that you have. So you have the white box plus the bits and bobs that will be on the. So for example, the cover. Now I'll see what I can do about showing you the whole thing. Let me clear the table a bit. So here we go. So beginning with the cover. This is what the cover is going to look like. Ogres Oubliettes. That is the cover of the box. So if you imagine that bit is the top of the box, those are the side panels of the box, and that's the back of the box. Yeah. So you imagine those things will be printed on the front, side panels, and the back of your box, which means that you can see it in the physical shape, and also then you can go down and check into detail all the printing, the quality of the images, the sharpness of the images, the resolution, the text. Obviously, you don't want to be finding text mistakes at this stage. It might happen. It might have happened a few times in our history, but normally it shouldn't really happen. You should be just looking for printing imperfections. So that's for the said, it's for the box. I'll discard it. And then you go for the internal components. So what's inside the box? Okay, so if I open the box, in with that. So what you have in here, oh, does the lag again? I can't quite see what I'm showing. Okay, and we already punched out the punch hole. So in this box you have a map of Equestria. You will see that. You use a little leaflet.
We have a question. Well, it's not so much a question as someone has written Dark Crystal expansions and then lots of exclamation marks.
Dark Crystal expansions. I can answer that. Like we said in a previous video, we have an expansion ready for the Dark Crystal. We, for example, have some Garthim soldiers that have been ready, basically they're sculpted and ready to go into production. However, what we are waiting to see is what's going to happen with the Age of Resistance, and see how that influences the sales of the board game, the man, etc. So at the moment we are holding fire with that one, and hopefully when the Age of Resistance comes out, everything will be going gang-ho, and we'll confirm that expansion. So waiting, waiting, standing by. Continuing with what I was saying, so if you go back to the closed camera, so inside the box you have all these components. So this, as I said, has poster and rules leaflet, rules booklet, and then this particular product is a ton of patchwork. What's a patchwork? It's one of, recognize this cardboard thing where you punch out you punch out all your components, like tokens, but more importantly like standees. So you have things like this. You recognize this shape and you go, oh, this is a giant dragon. And then you go in and go, right, okay, I know what the components feel like, weigh. Oh, and there's also the plastic bases, which I have dropped somewhere. But yeah, so there's also the plastic bases to go under the standees and keep them in place. Lost it somewhere. Okay, and then you go, right, okay, so I've seen the actual standees. I can check what is going to be printed on the standees. Here we go. What do we have here? See the dragon I was mentioning? Here. Actually, on the standees we have put down information like where the name of them, for example. In this case, Dragon Lord Torch. Some bases have appeared, but I'm sure there was a bag of bases. It's probably buried somewhere in here. But yeah, so I have the plastic bases that hold some of the plastic bases that hold the standees. But what you can do is, of course, you can compare and put your checking the size of the dragon matches the actual dragon. To idea of what thing. You can do it with the punch code. You can actually get out the right punch code and match the images so that they actually match what's going to be on them. It's the other one, yes. Poor choice. I suppose I could show that because that's kind of an interesting thing to do. I will find the right punch code. Here we go. This is the right punch code. There's so much stuff in there, which I suppose is a good thing. Let's make it very simple when you're trying to find things here. How many punch words? 7 punch words is it here? 1, 2, 3, 6 punch words. It is dragon. Yeah, that's the dragon. That's the dragon. So, thank you. So now, if you can see, you can match the shape of the punch word to the printing. Give you an idea of where the component that will be punched out is going to be and what's going to be on it. And that's your dragon. So, go back to the thing, please. Okay, so dragon in position, punch board, punched out, dragon comes out. So you know this will stand. You test to see whether the plastic bases are holding. As you can see, they are. And there you go. That is what a white sample with accompanying prints is like. So you will check all these images. You will check all the images on the of the components. The next sheet. So there's like three sheets on this one and 3 sheets on this one. You have more monsters, more characters, and some of the Ogres Oubliettes themed monsters and opponents for the adventurers. Then what else is in here? So okay, these are the punch boards. But then there's the actual rules leaflet, rules booklet there, which is laid out here. You can see that basically the pages are shown as they will be printed before they actually assembled. And where is that? This is the next one. Oops. Okay. So this, obviously, because of the way printing works and the way they're folded into sections before they're bound together, they are not. You have to be aware of how they are folded, so you will have to go and find the page numbers and read them in order. But again, gives you a chance of checking image quality, checking printing, checking that all the bits that need to be around are there. Which is an interesting job, and is an exciting job, because then you have to go, right, so these will go on that leaflet that we've seen to form the finished product. And last but not least, there was the other component. It was the poster of Equestria that is also included in the expansion. So an adventure, a mini adventure with some rules about using the tokens, the poster, and tons of standees for using as a kind of miniature-like job in when you're role playing. And that's what Y sample and accompanying print looks like. Hope that you found that interesting, and gives you a little hindsight of that. And oh, there you go! I found the bag with the bases, which I was looking for, showing different type of bases that you have to choose. You know, you choose the color, you choose the size. There's a lot of choices that interact between you and the supply. So that's it. I hope you found it interesting. I hope this book excites you as much as it excites me to see it in the flesh, and I wish I could you could feel what this feels like. Maybe you can hear what it feels like. But yes, that's the advanced prototype of the Labyrinth book. Cool. So thank you very much for watching, and keep in touch. Next time we'll be playing some games, I think, in the live stream.